Yo, what's good? It's your boy Tap, and I'm back like a quick attack. And this time, I'm a steel type trainer. So hopefully, you can let me steal some of your time. Nah, but anyway, yo, I was actually really hyped about doing this particular challenge because it was shortly after Piplup Community Day, and we were able to find a rank 3 shiny like a couple days before I was ready to do the steel type challenge. And so I was super duper hyped about this one. Okay, so let's get right into the advantages and disadvantages of steel type Pokemon. Now, steel type moves are super effective against ice, rock, and fairy. Now, our steel type moves are not very effective against fire, water, electric, and steel. The move typings that are not very effective against us include poison, where in main series it is an immunity, but in Pokemon Go it is a double resistance. Now, the other typings that are not very effective against us, which I mean, this is the one thing that's great about Steel, is that we are the best defensive typing in the game, and we resist normal, grass, ice, flying, psychic, bug, rock, dragon, steel, and fairy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just amazing, right? And the typings that are super effective against us include fire, fighting, and ground. Now, even though the steel typing has a total of 11 resistances, um, we still are pretty much vulnerable as a trainer using. We're trying to use mono steel type, so we do have to worry about the typings that really do matter. Now, fighting and ground and fire. I mean, obviously those really matter. Those are very common typings in the Pokemon Go Battle League. And like we have to worry about Talonflame, Typhlosion. We've got to worry about Primeape, Annihilate, um, and we've got to worry about the Mud Slappers as well, right? And so as you can see by the team that we decided on, we are ABA weak to Mud Slap. Now, I'm thinking to myself, the reason why we decided to settle on this particular order is that even though on the surface we are ABA weak to Mudslap, if we are able to make the right pivots in the right directions and get a shield advantage for our Empoleon, then a lot of the ground types will die to two Hydro Cannons if we can get a shield advantage. And then we also have the safe swap of Corviknight, which will resist the ground typing. As for fire, I said it in a previous video, but fire is a bit scary. But the fire type that we have to worry about most often is Talonflame, and we should be on Thunderfang on our Shadow Steelix, and Shadow Steelix actually beats Talonflame with Thunderfang. So if we do catch one in the lead, we can beat it that way. Or if we do the safe swap thing, like we find we're in a bad position, we can bait it out with our Corviknight. Um, Again, yeah, this is a rank 3 shiny Empoleon, and I was really excited to use it. And so we were able to go 9-1 with this team, and I hope you guys enjoy the battles. Now that we understand the advantages and disadvantages of the steel type and being a steel type gym leader, let's get into some of these battles. All right, getting into the first battle as a steel type gym leader in the Gray League, and it's Steelix into Dusknorm. Now, it's a non-shadow Dusknorm. We definitely don't want it to see our Empoleon up energy. Most Steelixes are running Crunch, so I don't build up to the Earthquake, and I instead send the Psychic Fangs. They call it. And we're gonna respect the potential Dynamic Punch. And our opponent is not playing any games. They do full send the Dynamic Punch. Now, because even though they no shielded the Psychic Fangs, our Thunderfangs will start doing a lot of damage. They're able to get to another Dynamic Punch, which we barely live. We don't really want to be going down two shields, and hopefully we can get a shield parity here, and then maybe a farm down on one of our back Pokemon. We don't get shield parity. They do just let it go, and instead of allowing a farm down, we immediately want to switch. Okay, in comes Talonflame, and this is gonna be really rough because Talonflame is up a shield. We are on Metal Sound, and they will be able to outpace us to two moves before we can get through those shields and land a Hydro Cannon. So I'm sure that this is a top left situation, but we are a gym leader, so we will play this out. Oh no, we won't. I'm glad I'm not a dumb gym leader. All right, getting into the next battle as a steel type gym leader, and it's Steelix into Drapion. This is all right. I'm not mad at this. We can do a number of things. They're never going to be able to farm us down, so staying in is also fine. We do attempt a catch; it does not work out for us. But they overfarm a bit, and so we're able to get a Hydro Cannon off into this Drapion before they even throw a single crunch. And they let it go. It does a whole bunch of damage. I'm wondering how I feel here. I mean, it's a non-shadow Drapion, so I don't think we should respect the crunch. Crunch does come through. It does half of our health. They're able to get another one off. We are going to respect this one. Them staying in really desynced the timer. Like, I mean, really helped me out with the timer actually. Because now I can get out after sending a drill peck into this thing. Now I wonder which direction I want to go. Now, choosing the right direction is pivotal here. It requires a lot of things. It requires anticipating what the third Pokemon is, and also realizing who is going to take the least damage from the charge moves on this energy full Jellicent. We do finally get a shield, and we pivot into Corviknight, which is a decent direction. We can handle. They're forced to go for Shadow Balls. I mean, Surf would do decent damage, but it makes it so that they want to throw Shadow Balls. If we come in with Steelix, they're just gonna go for the cheaper Surf and be in a better position. We respect this the second Shadow Ball. We do want to keep some health on our Corviknight. The last Pokemon is more Pico, and we bait with an Air Cutter. They call it. It makes me kind of wish I sent the payback, but we are able to get two air cutters, which will get this thing really low. I think that they hard swap this more Pico, so if we can burn the timer down and get into our Steelix, we're chilling, and we are able to do that. This Morpeko is locked in, and they are going to go for. I don't know what the smart play is. I think Aura Wheel is the smart play here. Just go straight Aura Wheel, but they go for a Seed Bomb. Uh, that's not the play. I don't think. Now they're in dark mode, but their attack isn't boosted. So there's a possibility that even though we're a Shadow Steelix, we will live the Aura Wheel. And they end up this is a grave mistake for my opponent. Now, I know that they're desperate to get a Surf into our Steelix, but what they just did was undo their typing from dark back to electric, making it so that when they do come back in, the damage that they throw won't matter and we'll be able to get the farm down. They come in with a Drapion. I think they're just kind of like flustered now at this point. They probably realized their mistake because now when they come back in electric mode, it won't matter, and we are able to just bite this thing right on down. GG's, we beat a more Pico. Let's go. All right, getting into the next battle as a Steel type gym leader, and then Steelix into. Let's see how lucky we get. Celio. Not necessarily lucky. We are neutral to the Powder Snow. The Body Slam is resisted, and the Surf is super effective. So let's see what Past Me decides he wants to do here. And he just keeps going and going and going and going. We're building up to the Earthquake. I end up not respecting the Surf, and it gets my Steelix extremely low. And then I save up close to two Psychic Fangs, and I switch to my Corviknight. Now, another thing about this team I didn't talk about in the explanation breakdown is that the two Pokemon in the back are weak to electric, but we're strong to electric in the front. So it is ABB in that style too. So Corviknight's purpose here is to bait out an electric type. We got the sand attack damage and payback hits really hard, so it could get us a really big shield advantage or maybe some kind of momentum. They end up coming in with the Florges, and we're just gonna start shipping this Florges down with air cutters. They're never gonna boost their attack with Trailblaze here because Trailblaze is triple resistant because we are flying and steel. So yeah, we hit the air cutter off, and then we switch into our Empoleon to get a head start, which I like this head start situation here because now we can just start pelting Hydro Cannons into this Corviknight. And if I'm looking at the animations correctly, this is an air slash Corviknight, and that's bad business for my opponent. And so we're able to throw on good timing four metal sounds, and then the hydro cannon. Two into three turn moves. You want to throw on 1, 4, 7, 10. We're able to get the second hydro cannon before we get the shield, and I mean, I should probably respect a Trailblaze, but maybe not the first one. Let's see how we feel. We don't respect the first Trailblaze. It does a substantial amount of damage, but they're never ever going to be able to farm us down with the Fairy Winds. I'm wondering if this is a situation where we can just double shield and commit to fast move pressure here. They do go for another Trailblaze, but we think it's best to start throwing some to get some shields down. You're gonna get a shield. We got two Pokemon that will resist Fairy Winds and get to a charge move. And one of the Pokemon we left with, oh yeah, we left with so much energy on our Steelix. We had an entire Earthquake loaded, and we can now nuke this floor just with this Earthquake, and we 3-ball flex as a Steel type trainer. GG's. Getting into the next battle as a Steel type gym leader, it's Steelix into Blastoise. Now we're on Thunderfang, and so it's super effective into this Blastoise. And we also have Psychic Fangs to drop his defense, but we decide that safe swapping here to potentially bait out an electric type or something that my Empoleon doesn't want to see out. And they stay in and throw a Hydro Cannon. We are going to do 2 sand attacks and throw a payback for good timing. And they shield the payback. Good shield on their part. Payback would have done a lot of damage. We also which is why I wouldn't have mind staying in instead, really, with the Steelix, mainly because we resist the rollouts, and we would have got some really good leeway. They come in with 2 cannon, and I don't like my opponent's play here. I don't like them waiting so long to counter swap. This is really bad. Like, this is no like offense to my opponent anyway. I mean, we're all learning. I'm not in the high elo ranges because I've been doing these challenges. But just sacrificing your 2 cannon like that is just very unnecessary. You should have just played it out and kept your switch clock available. And they come in with a Claydol, which, like, it becomes a little scary because we have nothing but Steel types in the back, but we still have a lot of health on our Corviknight, and they just completely sacrificed their 2 cannon. They're gonna come in with their Blastoise and actually expend energy on the Hydro Cannon here before taking any shadow damage. And I like that we're aligning our Empoleon into this position, because even though the only neutral damage that we have here is Drill Peck, their damage is all resisted. So that's Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam, or Skull Bash. It really won't matter. Now the Hydro Cannons will still add up because Hydro Cannon is an incredible move, but we're still in an amazing position because we are a rank 3 shiny Empoleon. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning of the video, but I was so hyped about that. And they come back in with their Claydol, and it is getting some hefty mud slap damage, but we are gonna get the final shield and then come in with our Corviknight. We're gonna shield here. The mud slap damage is resisted, so they're never gonna farm us down. And instead of going for a Rock Tomb, they go for a Shadow Ball. Yeah, I mean, this opponent made this too easy, honestly, but we do get a win. And GG's. All right, getting into the next battle as a Steel type gym leader, and it's Steelix into Corsola. No, I don't like Corsola. It's just a really bulky menace. I use it myself. When I say, if I say I don't like a Pokemon, it's probably because I actually love it. But yeah, this is a bulky menace, and the Astonish is outpacing us damage wise than our Thunderfangs are. Now the thing is, if you've heard me review any of these other typing videos, is I can't imagine I send a Psychic Fangs here. I will never bait a bulky Pokemon. And that's why no one ever really wants to. And we simul swap actually after the Earthquake lands, and they come in with because they wanted to snipe down with some mud slaps, which I respect that play, but I was getting out the paint anyway, and they come in with their Marowak. Now they do go up to the Rock Slide. They don't bait. They send the Rock Slide on the CMP. I want to know if they're gonna respect this payback. I hope they don't, because I would love to get this Marowak out of here sooner than later. But they do respect the payback. Kind of sketchy business. It should be getting to the next rock slide now in 4 mud slaps. I'm probably going to have to let it go because going down 2 shields right now would just be really rough. They do end up getting another rock slide into my Corviknight. I'm not happy about it, but we should be able to either get the shield or a lot of damage. And yeah, we get a knockout with the payback. We don't bait here. They come back in Corsola. It makes me feel strange. Now I don't want to come in and farm down with my low health Steelix. I think I'm meant to come in with my Empoleon. Yes. And even if we need to expend the shield, we could try to go for a catch. Maybe we were tracking energy and they were patient, but yeah, they just concede the match. We don't even see what the third Pokemon is. We win another match as a Rock type gym leader. GG's. Now I believe this set ends up being a 4-1, and we have one more set to review, yo. So let's get right into that. All right, getting into the next battle, and we kind of switch up the team here, but it is essentially the same line. But instead of the ground steel type of Steelix, we have the ground steel type of Galarian Stunfisk. And I remember that chat was using Chat GPT to ask them to build some what a steel type teams for me, and one of the suggestions was Galarian Stunfisk, and I'm a really big fan of Galarian Stunfisk because I happen to have the rank 1, so I took the offer right away. Now we're in a really good position because our Galarian Stunfisk, even though it's met by a Talonflame, is able to at least get shields or maybe force it to switch out. And so on proper timing, we're throwing, and we're so bulky that we're actually living these incinerates, and we're going to get to another rock slide here. Now I imagine we just let ourselves go, but they instead try to catch, or they try to save some of their Talonflame, and they switch into their Mud Boy, that of Wishcash. I was about to say Quagsire. This is Wishcash, and we have a Steel Flying type here ready to just damage. I mean, destroy this Wishcash here. They're gonna go for a Blizzard actually, and it does half the amount of damage. I respect the play, and so we're trying to farm up here, and we over farm a bit. I don't like that. I mean, we must have lost track of energy here, and but okay, well they're on Mud Bomb. Maybe we didn't lose track. Okay, but yeah, they're on Mud Bomb, and I really want to sand attack them down into a air cutter range. So we have 2 air cutters here, and this one air cutter should be enough to take them out. And we should have enough to send an air cutter into whatever comes in. It ends up being an Altaria, right? We know that the back Pokemon is Talonflame, and we need to do whatever we can to get a head start on that Talonflame. So I'm glad that I know that in the moment, and we switch over into our Empoleon now. This thing does have access to Flamethrower this season. This Altaria here, it is a non-Shadow Altaria, and it's probably going to send Flamethrower now. But this one ends up being on Moonblast, and it does as much as I feel like a Flamethrower would have gotten close to doing, or maybe Flamethrower would have did a tad bit more. But yeah, because we saved up energy before the Talonflame came in, which is why I said we needed to get a head start there, we're able to have a Hydro Cannon ready for when the Talonflame comes in. We don't even have to take an Incinerate about it, and we also get to a Drill Peck before they can throw another move. We also have a shield here on our Empoleon, so there is no realm where this Altaria can get through us, and we 3-ball flex as a steel type gym leader in the Great League, and we get a Rage Quitter. Okay, now getting into the next battle as a steel type gym leader, and it's Stunfisk into Azumarill. Now I would rather have my Thunderfang Steelix here, but we are bulky, and we are neutral to the Ice Beam. They would have to have Hydro Pump to really threaten us, but we do have opportunity to maybe force an alignment that we would rather have, which is we would rather have our Empoleon on this Azu. So I'm hoping now that they do something like switch out, and my opponent, he had enough time to think about it too. So maybe it's another Mud Boy, maybe this is his best shot, but if that was the case, he probably should have just stayed in with this Azu, because If I was him, I'd be itching to have this Gastrodon on my opponent's Stunfisk. So he doesn't. He just sacrifices his Gastrodon. So we have to assume potentially there's another ground type. Now it would make sense because the thing that Azumarill fairy water type Pokemon is most afraid of in this meta is poison type damage like a Toxapex or Tentacruel or just poisons in general. Now it is afraid of electric. There aren't that many electric Pokemon used in the meta, but it does get used. The Dene Ampharos, Morpeko, stuff like that gets used. But this thing's a bulk monster and mostly afraid of poison, which resist the moves that it'll throw. So I could see this definitely being another Mud Boy in the back. Now we're going two shields down on both me and my opponent are doing this. Now the lead Pokemon was Azu, so I'm gonna have to be very particular about who I choose to get the farm down with. I decide that I'm gonna reveal my third and I'm gonna get the farm down with my Empoleon. We take a lot of mud slap damage to pay for it, but a good thing about this play is we're shields down and they don't want to come in with their Azu after all of that, and so we force them to reveal their third, which is really good for us. And the third happens to be something that's weak to metal sound and will be two shot by Hydro Cannon, and that of Cradily. And so we get really, really lucky here. The momentum is out of the roof. And I think that Stunfisk, oh yeah, Stunfisk will still have to put in work here. So we send a drill peck into this bulky, bulky, bulky beast. Nice shiny Azu, by the way, trainer. And yeah, we land a drill peck. It is a 1500 CP shiny Azu. Pretty nice. Now we will see what this opponent wants to throw. It ends up throwing a play rough, which is just enough to take. Oh, okay. We were just about to. We need a DRE, and all we need to do is get to earthquake here, and earthquake should be more than enough damage to get rid of this Azu. I have a feeling that our bulky rank one Stunfisk, even if they were to build up to an a Hydro Pump and send it, would live the Hydro Pump. And so we are able to get to the earthquake, and this bulky beast Azu will be deleted by our Stunfisk. Stunfisk started feeling really good. GG's. All right, getting into the next battle as a steel type gym leader in the Great League, and it's our Galarian Stunfisk, G-Fisk into Malamar. It's pretty sketchy, although we resist the sidewave damage because of our steel subtyping. They are able to go for, they can either charge up to two superpowers and then dip, but instead they go to one superpower. I believe that they're gonna superpower and dip. Do I respect it? I don't, because you know what? They were never gonna farm us down. We don't even bait. They're debuffed. They're about to give us a shield, or they're gonna lose this thing. And oh damn, it lives that. And we end up catching the debuffed superpower onto our Corviknight. And I like this play. We preserve a lot of our Stunfisk, and then we still have a shield. Now Stunfisk with that amount of health is actually still pretty dangerous. It's an extremely bulky Pokemon, so with that amount of health, it goes crazy. Now this is sketchy, extremely scary. We are a steel type gym, and their next swap, or not swap, their next presented Pokemon is Talonflame, and they rightfully shield up the payback, and I'm a little bit scared now. Because if they boost up with a flame charge, I have no idea what I want to do. We do need to keep our shields though, and they do boost up with a flame charge. We're going to have to come in with our Empoleon and be really particular about when we throw these moves. Okay, so we definitely have to shield this up. No matter what they throw, we'll do a crazy amount of damage because of the flame charge buff. They go for flame charge again. I see the incinerate go through, so it's safe for me to do two metal sounds before queuing up the Hydro Cannon. They have to respect this damage. And if I see another incinerate come through, I'm actually safe to do another two in Hydro Cannon again. As long as I see the incinerate animation happening, I'm safe to do that. Otherwise, they will be. I mean, if they pause a turn, you can tell that they're attempting a catch. The last Pokemon ends up being a Wigglytuff, and because we have two steel types left, and the charm damage actually wasn't enough to take care of our low health Empoleon, we actually do get a Hydro Cannon into this thing, and we still have a shield, so they were never gonna farm down. Even if they get to Icy Wind or whatever, all we gotta do is respect it, and we don't have to go to Earthquake or anything. We can just Rock Slide and Mud Shot down. They settle for a Swift instead. This is fine. That means that we're not debuffed, and that means that we can actually go for Rock Slide safely. And we win another battle as a Steel type gym leader in the Great League. Bye, Wigglytuff. All right, getting into another battle as a Steel type gym leader in the Great League, and it's Galarian Stunfisk into Shadow Empoleon. Scary. Now we catch on Corviknight instead of catching on our own Empoleon. I don't mind this play. I mean, Hydro Cannon is gonna really bust no matter where it lands. Because it even resisted, it would do a lot to our Empoleon. They come in with the Gorgice, and this is the new meta here. Gorgice has Incinerate. So even though it's a grass type coming into my Steel and Flying type, which is historically one of the worst plays you could ever make, they make the right play here because they are able to shield up and almost get a farm down, but they're forced to throw before I can get to an Air Cutter. Air Cutter wouldn't have really super threatened them, so they could have committed to the farm down, honestly. They do get the C bomb, and it is just enough to take us out, even though that is triple resisted. We come in with our Empoleon here, and we're just gonna farm up a bit. And it's the same thing with Incinerate. All we have to do is make sure that we're seeing these animations go through, and we do, so that we're safe to do two metal sounds and throw a drill peck because of that. And we always got to be careful about that because sometimes you're just expecting it. You're going through the motions, and you're kind of just expecting the game to flow the way it's always playing it with every single player. But you have to pay attention to some people not throwing their fast move, and realize that if they're not throwing their fast move, it is not the right time to start doing two and throws because it's likely in a zero point 0.5 seconds there will be another Pokemon on that screen. So we're able to because we throw them on good time and get rid of that Gorgice with still maintaining a shield here. And I decide that we're going to let this go, and my opponent drill pecks instead of hydro cannoning, and they actually make a fantastic play where they catch our hydro cannon on their Altaria. So they go from lackluster play or less optimal play rather into a really good play. Now I think my best bet here is I need to really really over farm a whole bunch. I need to make sure that I can get rid of this thing and then also um potentially get a rock slide into that low health Empoleon. If I remember correctly, it's pretty low health. Altaria does take the rock slide, and we opt to just get rid of the Altaria instead because we do have the shield, and we can probably depend on fast move pressure, or just they're never gonna farm us down with Metal Sound either. Yeah, so they were pretty low and they are a shadow, so yeah, my original plan was fine. We're able to get to the rock slide on CMP, but that's fine for me because I have a shield, and this was actually a pretty scary match, but we do win another battle as a steel type gym leader in the Great League. Okay, getting into the final battle as a steel type gym leader in the Great League, and it's a Stunfisk into Sableye. Now the Shadow Claws and foul plays will add up. They will always win CMP, and yeah, we're never gonna try to CMP here because of that. But their secondary moves, Return, Power Gem, and Dazzling Gleam would all be resisted, so they have to go for this. But this move is just fine. I'm wanting a really, really big momentum in this matchup, so I don't even go for the rock slide. I go straight for the earthquake. Let's see if my opponent respects it. They don't respect it, and it makes it so that I can save some health on my Stunfisk and switch into my Corviknight. Uh, they are low health. They say that they want the chip instead of saving their Sableye, and they do save their Sableye. They come in with Charger Bug, and this is why we built this team this way, so that we can bait out the electric type, so that Empoleon can have his free reign. We do bait it out. They don't respect the payback, and now we're just chilling. because yeah, they can try to commit to the farm down, but we will get to an air cutter, which would have threatened the shield. X Scissor comes through, takes out my Corviknight, but we have the bulky Galarian G-Fisk right here. And all of the fast move and charge move pressure from this Pokemon is resisted. X Scissor is the right move there. You can see it does a healthy amount of damage. And so they're gonna go for another one. We're just gonna commit to a farm down here. And just be very grateful that this Charger Bug is off the screen. Now, once they see our other Pokemon weak to Electric, they're going to be really sad about it. We save all of that energy on our Stunfisk, which I really love. And their final Pokemon is Furret. Now, it's a good thing we have shields, because if we didn't, I think they just need to land one Trailblaze. I mean, and then farm us down, actually. But we're in such a good position now because we have so much energy on our Stunfisk. And we are at shield parity with our opponent. Our opponent goes for a Trailblaze. Sucker Punches will start to really hurt now. I don't waste any time. I'm just gonna chuck these Hydro Cannons right away, see if they respect them. I mean, they know what's coming. They really should, and they do respect it. And I'm going to respect this move with a shield. They could just go for double swift here, honestly, but if they go for Trailblaze again, I would understand. They do go for Trailblaze again, and now we can they try to snipe down or catch a move rather, but it didn't work out for them. And so we're able to queue up our Earthquake into this Furret on our G-Fisk, who is for the Steel type gym was a fantastic performer. And yeah, man. So we're able to claim a straight 5-win streak victory with the steel typing here. And we got one more typing to recap, and that is the water type. We get the ace-ish rank with our steel type gym, and I had some fun. Obviously, you knew that I was gonna have fun. I started off the video talking about my Empoleon. I was very excited about catching that shiny Empoleon, and we used it for the entirety of the challenge. No, not really. I think we switched it up actually for the subsequent battles, but we will just be releasing those in shorts. Yo, man, I really appreciate you hanging out. If you made it this far in the video, I hope you enjoyed the battles. Please remember to like, subscribe, share with your friends on Twitter, Reddit, wherever. So shortly after this, we will be dropping the water type video. That one took the longest because we had to space it out. We did it first in the Ultra League, and then a couple of days ago, maybe I think this week actually, we did it in the Great League. So look out for that, yo. It's your boy Tap, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out, yo. Peace.